3 generations is pretty crazy. It's something that me and my dad talked about for a lot of years, that it's kind of cool. And at that time when I first started, I think I was the only one that was 3rd generation.
My dad started out there, and I think his first job was working in the guard shack. So I think he was out there 38 years total. So I was in maintenance, 6 months before I got a bid into the feed unit. And then I went to the coker, the old coker, spent 8 years in the coker and loved it. Special projects operator come up. So I put in for that. I was there for 10 years in that position. The projects that we done with the number 2 crude revamp and the coker unit and was really, really enjoyable.
In 2011, around that time, around graduation, I was, applying for jobs, trying to figure out what I wanted to do. Really didn't know what direction I wanted to go. And at that time, my sister and brother-in-law lived in Washington State, and they said, "Hey, what do you think about moving up to Washington for a couple years? You could, get your master's." And during that time, there was a winter that my dad had flown out to Washington just to visit. And I was, again, going through the recruitment process, talking with companies, had a couple offers of places back here in Kansas. And he said, "Have you thought about the refinery?" And I looked at him, I'm sure, with a dumbfounded look, and was like, "Well, if I wanted to do that, why didn't I just do that after high school, right?" Because it doesn't take a college education. My dad doesn't have a college education. A lot of people out there don't have a college education.
I knew the jobs he was looking at, what they were paying, and what he would make the first year that he worked out there. I thought he could make up his own mind, but the information I gave him, it would be silly not to.
Like, okay, well, I'll at least go through the process. The first interview, talked with Vince Bingston, who was in HR at that time, and he's like, "Bo," he's like, "I'm just gonna be completely honest." He said, "With your education, you can go an awful lot of places." Because NCRA owned the refinery at that time. CHS had already announced that they were gonna wholly own it within the next year. And I said, "Well, what's that gonna entail?" And he said, "That'll actually probably benefit you even more, because now you have a global company that you can literally go anywhere you want if you really want to."
When he got hired on and actually got a bid into the feed unit, I was really happy. It was going to be a good time for me. I loved working with him. It made my heart full.
We used to have a weekly, I call it happy hour, at my grandparents' at his parents' house on Fridays. Growing up, that's all my grandpa and my dad would talk about was the refinery, the stuff, what's going on, this and that, just exchange stories. And I'd always make fun of them. And that was literally all they would talk about. And then I got hired on. That's all we talked about.
Whether it was Christmas or Thanksgiving or the Friday happy hours, that's what we would talk about.
A lot of people in this area view it as the lottery. So, if you get that phone call that you're one of the 12 or one of the 16 now, it's like winning the lottery. That's just how you feel when you get that call from CHS, because you feel like you're going to be financially secure. You know that you're working for a great company. You're going to basically be set for as long as you want to work there.
You really are a family out there. The guys you work with, you get to know them, have to trust them, you rely on them, and they rely on you. That connection is huge.
In this corner here behind me, when my dad got the phone call from the refinery that he got hired on, that him and my mom danced in a circle, that they were just, ecstatic that he got hired on. And, that carried on, when I got hired on, everyone, that my family just knew what it meant to have a great job, career here in McPherson County.